Hello there, WeirdShady here, ready for another round of the so-called beautiful films
Cinematic Universe!
that I apparently have started by myself without even knowing it, for some reason. So, Your Name is a movie of the Japanese animation-wise NES style, which is also called an anime, I'm being told. It's what my internet browser informs me, at least. If you haven't seen Your Name, what are you even doing here? Are you gonna watch this 9-year-old movie anytime soon? I would say, if you're hanging around here, you might as well do so. Or, anything I say here makes absolutely no sense. But I do like your style though, living dangerously and all. I was thinking that I would go through the plot just as a refresher for my examples and thoughts about the beauty of this movie.
Well, I'ma keep gonna be going here now.
Spoilers somewhat ahead, you have been warned. So, Your Name follows two teenagers, Mitsuha and Taki, two lost souls that connect in the oddest of ways. Body swapping. That's today's dealio, and as the story of the movie occurs and continues, the love between them two teenage leads grows stronger than ever before.
I love you, bitch.
Oh my god.
I ain't gonna never stop loving you, bitch.
At first, Mitsuha and Taki don't really like each other that much. They are annoyed with each other more than anything else. Understandably, since they do things they both don't like. As in the fact that Mitsuha spends all of Taki's money at cafes because she's never been to a proper cafe before. Living the big city life. And Taki touches boobs. Because that's apparently a thing that many guys would do, I guess? The creator of the movie, Master Shinkai Senpai, says that if he were to make this movie again in modern times, aka today, he would choose not to choose this choice again. But yeah, it'd be another time. Anyway, but yeah, they fall in love without even knowing it, because they are so entangled in each other's lives. So they have no choice but to try and find one another. Taki searches for Mitsuha, traveling all over with his friends, which he doesn't even want there. Turns out, Mitsuha is dead. I know, right? That's weird. She's been, in fact, dead for 3 years now. And Itomori is a big freaking crater in the ground, covered with water. Because, of course, the plot has to thicken dramatically, with the drama nonetheless. The meteor that you have been seeing on the news throughout the runtime was destined to split apart and head for Itomori. So it turns out that not only have their minds been swapped, but they have indeed been swapping in the duration of time as well. So Taki goes to drink some alcohol, because clearly that solves all of the world's problems.
Oh.
After drinking some sweet-ass sake, he starts seeing flashes of Mitsuha's life with the most visual-pleasing animation collage, I might add. Taki also learns that 3 years ago, Mitsuha also searched for him in Tokyo. And she searches and searches, only to find him on a train. But he doesn't know who she is. That's not weird, since it's 3 years before he even heard the name Mitsuha. But anyway, here Taki switches with Mitsuha one more time, in the body capacity, and then he teams up with their friends in order to try and save Itomori. Sweet! If all that wasn't enough, the fully melancholy meal that this movie feeds us after some time has passed, where we start to feel comfortable, is that Mitsuha and Taki starts to forget one another. As a viewer, I would say that this is pulling on my heartstrings, because I know that if I were to be in a similar situation, if I were to forget the beautiful name of this man here, I would cry my eyes out non-stop. So yeah, things happens, I guess, and then a few years later, at the end, they keep missing out on the chance to meet. Several times, in fact, because they're actively searching for each other without knowing it. And when they almost do interact, they let go. Because the urge to think that this is kind of peculiar keeps crawling back. Because in their forgetfulnessy minds, they don't know each other. So obviously it's weird to hang around. But after some time, they see one another head on through the windows of the train, and they rush out to find some good stares and exchange names for the 100th time. For the first time again. And then the soundtrack starts swelling with wholesomeness, and I'm all for it. 10 out of 10 would see again. The only crime that this movie incriminates itself with is the fact that we don't get to see them together after they find each other again after 5 freaking years of soul searching. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a perfect ending. Don't get me wrong. I would not like anything else. But still, get me a freaking sequel where we see them eating dinner or something, I don't know. Your Name has to be the most beautiful movie I've ever seen. Apart from the exciting and heartbreaking movie The Room.
You're lying, I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
I mean, the filmmaking, the cinematography, can you even call it that? When it's an anime film? Cinematography. Anyway, it is simply beautifully shot or drawn. The art style is also something to wonder at. That's what I think I'm doing here now too. Especially since it's the most beautifully drawn piece of media I have ever seen. But to say that only the visuals are a beaut is to do a disservice to the entire movie. Simply because there's so many other aspects that can be heartwarmingly exquisite to the mind and soul. For example, storytelling in general is an aspect that I respect and focus on a lot in movies and film alike. And in my honest opinion, Your Name does not disappoint in this regard. Because the storytelling in this movie is so well handled that I always tear up, just a little bit, consistently during the last 15 minutes of the movie. To be frank, the movie has something to it. Especially when 2 Caucasian males from a fairly popular YouTube channel, in their somewhat 40s I would believe, fall head over heels in love with an anime movie, a type of movie that wouldn't necessarily be on their radar in the first place.
Oh no, I'm crying. That ending got me.
Man, what a film.
Oh man.
If these men willingly cry during this movie, then so will I, damn it. The way that these movies show the differences between Taki and Mitsuha in their own bodies versus in each other's bodies is fun as well. Taki is seen as more feminine whenever Mitsuha is him, and Mitsuha is seen as more masculine whenever Taki is her. And that is all fine and dandy, but their day-to-day life also changes. Taki doesn't know how to put a ribbon in the hair, so he just uses a green hair tie to tie the hair backwards, in comparison to Mitsuha's 2 braids and red ribbon in her hair, to show the difference in their skills. Taki also uses his air-quote lucky charm whenever he is himself, but Mitsuha does not use it. The movie is filled with plenty of subtle details that you don't necessarily see in the first viewing. The bigger picture that this movie is portraying is the concept of MUSUBI, the connection and bonding of souls in time. To be fair, it does indeed sound so much like the Force.
And the Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us, it penetrates us, it binds the galaxy together.
But I tell you, it sounds so much more romantic in Your Name. The fact that MUSUBI plays a part in this movie is shown with the fact that it's used as a metaphorical description, the Force, as well as there's shown to be a physical braid that connects them. With that being Mitsuha's braid and Taki's lucky charm, that's the same freaking thing, bro. Quite fitting, since we all know that Kumihimo style braiding is the business, especially in Mitsuha's family. In my opinion, and I have plenty of those, the most beautiful moment in this film has to be when Mitsuha and Taki finally meet at the
Kamiyamama.
or Twilight, as it's called in the Queen's English. This is when time and space joins and binds, as they actively hear a pling to know that they are within reach, only to be separated by time. When the sun goes down and the twilight moment has presented itself, the moment they see each other and the piano swells up so swellingly is where my goosebumps act up. What an amazing moment! The movie has been building up to this moment, where they meet face to face for the first time, not counting the very, very first time, since Taki didn't know her yet, in Tokyo, 3 years ago. The way they interact, face each other, get into the freaking cozy, humble and sincere time of their lives fills me with joy. And then the movie cuts to Mitsuha dropping the pen. The music stops and Taki is all alone, only hoping to find her someday again. And I do have to tell you, seeing Mitsuha dropping the pen, it makes me drop my jaw as well, as my heart is distinctively being torn ever so slightly from where it used to reside in my chest cavity. Other than that, I love the fact that the characters have a big impact on each other throughout In Your Name. Both Mitsuha and Taki do small things that affect the lives of the one they swap bodies with. For example, Taki takes time to make a cafe for Mitsuha and her friends, because Itomori lacks one miserably. During the body swapping, he learns to become more selfless, doing things for people that he wouldn't necessarily do earlier. Taki also stands up for Mitsuha when it comes to being bullied. She becomes more popular at school, but mostly when he is her, so I don't know, yeah, sure. The thing is that he grows as a person throughout the whole movie. Mitsuha, on the other hand, starts to see how life is in Tokyo. It's another beast entirely from the countryside she's from. But even though it's hard for her, she works through Taki's shifts at work so that he can keep his job. She gets to know his friends well and are making relationships in her own way. Because of this, she then learns to stand up for herself and becomes more pleased with her place in life, because she's been so insecure about many parts of her life earlier. The last example I want to bring into the light of something else that makes this movie a beaut to experience is the soundtrack. Because we all know that the soundtrack In Your Name is indeed
perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
The soundtrack In Your Name is in fact made by the Japanese band Radwimps, and the songs that are compiled into the soundtrack are nothing out of proportion when it comes to sounds or melody. They do carry somewhat of a hopeful vibe, yet sometimes the soundtrack shows a touch of melancholy, just to signal to us that it's a story about two lost souls that meet in such an interesting way, and it also fits everything else that follows, being good and bad in a sense. Radwimps really took it as their mission, I would think, to make the music consistent through the whole runtime. Even though they switch a little bit between soft rock and slightly less soft rock, the songs are bangers every step of the way, and they give you feelings like never before. It's just so satisfying to listen to. The band has also said that the writing for the music and the writing for the movie went quite hand in hand and influenced each other tremendously. Before I wrap this up, I would like to present to you, and I will indeed have to send all the money I potentially receive from monetization some way in the future to my lovely girlfriend, because I stole this jingle from her. Fun facts with Shady. The town of Itomori is a fictional town, but it is in fact inspired by a real one, called Hida. I believe that the fact that it says Hida in the museum about nostalgic pictures somewhere in the movie is a nod to this. You can also see Taki googling Hida Mountains in order to draw the town of Itomori. After Your Name premiered, it became a global heartwarmer, and it made it possible for people to be interested in visiting Tokyo, and also the stairs where Taki and Mitsuha meet at the very end. What a tourist attraction indeed! Your Name soundtrack is indeed made by the band Radwimps, but did you know that they also made the English version of the songs for the English dub? The end song of the movie, Nandamunaya, sung by Radwimps, is also sung by Mone Kamishiraishi. I'm really sorry for mispronouncing that name. The actress/singer of Mitsuha, in a version that you can find on the interwebs. I can also put on a link down below if you're interested. You can also find a live performance as well, also down below I believe. Despite this movie being incredibly popular around the world, the creator of the movie, Makoto Shinkai Senpai, is not particularly pleased with the movie. Master Shinkai has stated in the past that the movie is unbalanced, incomplete, and in general needed more time in the oven. He's known to be his biggest worst critic, of course. Shinkai Senpai has also stated that he thinks that no more people should watch it, since he thinks that being obsessed with this movie is quite unhealthy. And lastly, speaking of Shinkai, the Italian restaurant that Taki worked at is named
Il giardino delle parole.
and it translates to the Garden of Words in the English, referencing one of Master Makoto Shinkai's previous films of the same name. There you have it. That's all I have for today, I'm afraid. If you miss me, then feel free to watch some of my other work. I can also tell you that I'm currently working on a new concept for my channel. I haven't come to any conclusive idea yet, but I am thinking about creating shorter videos that's less of a hassle to make, in addition to these hassled videos that I make. So be sure to check that out when it arrives. But anyway, now I really have to go. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Fare thee well for now.